should be back.
Do,
Welcome back. How are we getting on, everybody?
Good. Great to have Mr. Ross Mullan here today.
Hey.
How you doing, Ross?
I'm good.
For anyone who doesn't know you, could you introduce yourself?
I am Ross Mullan, and I'm an actor, mostly known for playing the White Walker in Game of Thrones, seasons 2, 3, and 4. And I was on Doctor Who, played the Silence and the Teller, and many other horror movies and such.
Well, Ross, let me first of all say that you're wrong in that sentence, because most people know you for playing Neville in Bear Behaving Badly.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I didn't know if you knew me from there, but I guess you're that generation. Yeah.
I used to love that show, man. Jesus.
I'll be honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
Bear Behaving Badly? Man.
I mean, it's Bear Behaving Badly.
It was the show that you would watch.
Are you able to share your screen, Thomas?
I am able to share my screen. Give me a second now. I just want to make sure.
Bear Behaving Badly.
Let me just close a couple of tabs here that would get us cancelled. No, I'm messing. Okay.
Okay, I do not remember that all too well, to be honest.
Okay, you guys should be able to see my screen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Great stuff.
Lovely. Now.
Okay, that's all I can see now.
I can't believe you guys haven't heard of Bear Behaving Badly, man.
Heard of it? I've never seen it though.
Seriously? What channel was it on, Russ? Was it on?
CBBC.
That is yes.
Somebody's Googled it. You've got it up there. That's my little bear.
Yeah.
Neb the Bear.
Jesus, man.
Oh.
I don't think you guys know how fucking big this is. What the fuck? It's amazing that you have such that variety in acting that you can go from this to this.
Yeah. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
Extremely impressive.
So I guess we're going to talk a little bit about your acting career.
Let's go from the start then. So how'd you get?
Yeah, we always start at the start. So how'd you get into acting, and what made you want to do it?
How did I get into acting? Well, I always wanted to be an actor ever since I was a little kid. I guess when I was about 4, I decided I wanted to be a monster in Scooby-Doo. So I wanted to be a cartoon character. And my mom was like, you can't be a cartoon character, but you can be an actor. So then I set out to prove her wrong. And that's how I became a monster in television. Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be an actor since I was a little kid. And mostly I did want to be a cartoon character. And then when I was about 13, my parents put me into private classes in Montreal, where I'm from. And I went to the same children's theater group that William Shatner did from Star Trek, because he's also from Montreal. That's how my mom found the school, because it was kind of famous for having him in it. And then I went to drama school proper when I was about 16 or 17 years old in Montreal, and then also in Toronto. And I excelled quite a bit in physical theater. So I was really good at doing really crazy off-the-wall comedy characters and stuff. And then I ended up working for a mask theater company when I finally left drama school at the age of around 18. And yeah, I wasn't super happy in Canada, so I kind of left when I was 24, and I moved to London in 1991. Fell in love with the city and stayed. Answered an ad in the paper for Jim Henson's Muppets. They were based in Camden at the time. And I went up there and trained as a puppeteer. And I didn't love it super much, but it gave me a puppeteering skill, which eventually led to me becoming Neville the Bear in Bear Behaving Badly back in 2005 or 2006. Yeah, and then from that, I ended up being a creature actor, weirdly. But all the time I've worked in theater, you know, all through the 90s, I worked in theater, musical theater, traveled all over Europe, the Middle East and Asia, did shows at Theatre Royal Bath. My career's just been kind of sketching all over the place. And I always just kind of say yes to things. So that's how I kind of ended up being an actor. And now I'm 53 and I'm still doing it. So I've been an actor since I was about 13, 14 years old, I guess.
Wow. It's awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Great.
with the you said you went to go work for Jim Henson. Did you actually meet him, or was he alive at the time? Or
No, he was dead then. And I was trained by Kevin Clash, who was the voice and puppeteer of Elmo
oh wow.
on
Oh, that's
Sesame
so
Street.
cool.
Elmo. He trained me. And I didn't love puppeteering at the time. It was really difficult to navigate because, you know, it's not just puppeteering, but you have to watch a screen. And when you're watching on a screen and manipulating the puppet, it was like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. It was really, really complicated. And I thought, wow, this is like not as enjoyable as it looks. But it was a skill I was acquiring and I was actually getting better and better at. But I was, you know, I was a cocky 26-year-old at the time and I just quit. I was like, I'm not going to do this. And I took a job touring with a musical theater company around Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. That kind of appealed to me more. But then puppeteering found me again back in 2006 or 2005, 2006, when the BBC were looking for someone to play Nev the Bear on a show called Smile at the time. And then Smile, the popularity of Nev was so big at the time, then they gave me a spin-off series called Bear Behaving Badly, which was, you know, his sitcom. Crazy, huh?
That is awesome. It's extremely cool.
You've done all sorts. But I have to acknowledge this and say it out loud because I'm going to be thinking about it all day. You have such a unique accent. What's the story there? Where'd that come from?
Well, I'm from Montreal, and I'm from a very French neighborhood, but we're an English family. So my accent has changed over the years. When I finally went to drama school, I had a really strange English-speaking Montrealers have a very funny sort of sing-songy accent. My father's from Northern Ireland, and my mom's parents were Serbian. I went to drama school. I developed a very sort of generic American Canadian accent, but then moving to London really changed my accent, like quite a lot. Now I do a lot of American voiceovers, but I'm also kind of good at doing different types of accents and stuff too, depending on the accents. Not all of them, but some of them I'm really good at.
Yeah, well, you can hear.
You sound like you're from North Dublin.
Really? Okay.
Does anyone else think that?
I you know, I can pick up on the American and the Canadian, and it's in the same sentence. I'm like, what?
It's funny. I meet people sometimes from like San Diego, and they think I'm from like Southern California.
Oh.
Some people think I'm from Ireland. Some people think I am definitely Canadian. And I had a real New York guy that I met in Mexico once at a Comic-Con who was certain that I was from Texas, from this really small town in Texas where they have apparently my accent. And I was like, no, definitely not from Texas at all. Yeah, so I'm Southeast London via Montreal via California, I guess. I don't know, that's my accent.
Damn.
Well, definitely unique.
Extremely unique.
What was I going to say?
What were you going to say, Jared?
That's
Damn.
a great question. What was I going to say?
Pressure's high.
Someone say something. Go on.
Pressure's high. You got a guest on. You're embarrassing yourself in front of the millions of people that are going to watch this podcast.
Oh
You're
my
such an
God.
embarrassment, bro. Jesus Christ. How do you look at yourself in the mirror every day? When
Okay,
you wake up?
Thomas.
Okay, so anyway, let's talk about Game of Thrones then, because I'm a big Game of Thrones fan.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
How'd you get involved with that?
Oh, crazy. Well, I got cast in, prior to Game of Thrones, I did Clash of the Titans, the remake with Sam Worthington, and which actually had a few Game of Thrones people in it, Liam Cunningham to be one of them.
Oh, wow.
Who I worked with in Clash of the Titans.
He's Irish.
I played
know that.
one of the Stygian witches in that. I don't know if you're familiar with Clash of the Titans, but there's 3 blind witches who guide Prometheus to slave, to how to defeat the Kraken is to chop off the Medusa's head and show it to the Kraken and all this stuff. When I went for the audition for Clash of the Titans, they were looking for a very tall guy to play the Jin Warrior, who was all made out of wood. When I got to my audition, Lucinda Sison told me that the role had already been cast, but that they were looking to cast 3 men to play the 3 witches, and one of them would be very tall. I'm 6'4". She said they didn't have a script, but they had an idea of what they wanted the character to be like. They wanted something sexy, something ugly, something funny, something disgusting, and something weird.
Oh,
and I said, wow, well, look no further. I am the guy to do this for you. So I got the job after doing an improvised audition for them. And the makeup team on that was Creatures Limited, and run by Connor O'Sullivan, who's an amazing makeup artist. Clash of the Titans was a very, very difficult shoot. Was buried in like 40 pounds of prosthetics. It was my first big prosthetics job. It was very difficult, very hard. And I vowed after that I would never do another prosthetics job as long as I lived. I thought, no way am I going to do that. Cut to about a year afterwards, after Clash had come out, Connor got in touch with my agent, Connor, the makeup artist, and he said, listen, we would love to have you down to audition for one of the White Walkers, well, for the White Walker in Game of Thrones. And I'd never heard of Game of Thrones, so all I knew is that they wanted to put me in prosthetics again. And I said, I'm not really sure that's going to be cool with me. I don't really think that'll fly with me. My agent said, well, listen, it's a really big TV show. Why don't you go down and hear them out? And Connor said, it's not going to be as heavy or as bad as Clash of the Titans because you have to be able to ride a horse. And I said, oh, well, that's easy then, because I don't ride horses. I don't know how to ride a horse. I've never done it before. And they said, oh, come down to the audition anyway. So I went down, arrived at Nina Gold's office, and I said, I'm here for King of Thrones. And and she said, oh no, it's like Game of Thrones. And I went, oh, it's a game? I thought it was a TV show, because I thought, oh, they're casting for like some they wanted me to do like computer generated image, and I was like, I didn't get this right at all. She's like, no, it's a TV show. It's already been on TV for a year. It's really popular. It's on HBO. It's based on a series of books. I was like, oh wow, there's books, interesting. I went into my audition. They showed me loads and loads and loads of pictures and of drawings of what they imagined the White Walker to be like. They showed me loads of photographs of warriors, tribal warriors all over the world, from Australia to North America to South America to Africa. And they described this character as very mysterious, coming from the north, very dangerous, and does something awful with babies. That was basically it. They asked me if I could do sword fighting, which I can do sword fighting. So I was like, yes. They said, then take that cardboard. There was like a cardboard inner tube, that you get from wrapping paper.
Yeah.
They had that, and they said, pretend that's your sword. And there's a baby on the floor. And
what?
Yeah, and just pretend there's a baby on the floor.
What kind of casting is this?
It's the casting for Game of Thrones, man.
Jared, if you think that's weird, man, you clearly haven't watched the show, bro. It gets like the first episode is a brother and sister having sex when they push a little kid out the window and disable him for life.
It's for adults. It's not Bear behaving badly, right?
No, it's
very badly.
Well, there was that one episode. No.
He wanted me to do something creepy and scary with the baby in mind, intimidating. So I just kind of improvised with my cardboard inner tube, pretending that I was going to kill or stab the baby. They really liked what I did. And then they wanted to know if I could horseback ride again. And I said, absolutely not. So after humming and hawing, they said, would you be happy to be sent out on horseback riding lessons? Which I said, absolutely. So I got that job. And I went out on horseback riding lessons for 4 months before we filmed. And then I started watching the show, and I realized how big it was. And when they told me I was going to be the season finale of season 2, I was like, oh wow, this is going to be a big deal, because season finale of season 1 is obviously a really, really big deal. And so then my career really just changed. After that, everybody wanted me to be a monster. I was just like the monster guy. That's what happens in this business.
Just to see how much of a monster you are, I want to ask, what did you do with the pretend sword and the pretend baby?
Oh, well, I kind of stealthily walked in and pretended that the baby was lying on the floor, nestled in the snow, pointed my sword at the baby, walked around in a circle towards it, lifted my sword up really high with the point going towards the baby, and then put it into my, pretend scabbard, and then went down, picked up the baby, lifted it up, opened my mouth, and then kissed it like that and put it back down again. And everybody laughed. And they said, "Oh, that was really funny. Let's do it again, but don't do the kiss at the end." Because they wanted to do it for the show to the producers. So just kind of improvising, trying to be creepy, trying to be stealthily odd, and just an audition, That's what actors do.
Yeah.
They pretend to be horrible.
And then how many hours would it have taken to do all the, the entire prosthetic and the whole not an outfit, but costume?
Makeup.
Yeah, the whole costume, yeah.
The makeup takes 5 hours. So makeup team would get in at midnight. I would come in at 1 o'clock in the morning. They would work tirelessly on me for 5 hours. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, we start filming. And we film until about 6 o'clock in the evening. And then it takes about 2 hours to get out of makeup. And then we all go back to the hotel. We have a glass of wine, a little cry, a little sleep, and then we do it all again the next day.
Jesus, man. That's rough. But that is dedication.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
To do that for work sounds awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, the makeup team are all really cool people. A lot of the time, you spend a lot of the time while they're setting up shots and stuff, having little naps together and hanging out and drinking coffee and gossiping and talking about past shoots and other things that you've done in your life. And the White Walker stuff was really cool to shoot. It was great, mostly because my scenes weren't done with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cast members, right? Like some of the scenes in Game of Thrones. So when you have moments like that, they're actually really kind of very gentle and nice to shoot, weirdly. And I got to spend a lot of time on a horse, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved horseback riding.
Cool.
Now I can horseback ride, and I can ride without a saddle, bareback.
Awesome.
Sounds fun.
Did you get to meet much of the cast, or you're in that scene with John Bradley?
Yeah.
Samwell.
So John, I worked with for 2 seasons, as well as Hannah Murray, who was in season 3.
Yes.
And Richard Brake, I worked with in season 4. He was playing the Night King at the time. That's it as far as cast. I met Isaac, who played Bryn. He would come down onto set and just kind of watch. But since Game of Thrones is finished for myself, like after those 3 seasons, I met a majority of the cast at Comic-Cons and events. So I meet them a lot on and off, like Jerome Flynn and Liam Cunningham. I did a convention with them in Dortmund in December. And Christian Nairn, who played Hodor, I know him very well. I do a lot of conventions with him. Miltos and
yes,
we had Miltos on. He's a great guy.
On the
oh
podcast.
yeah, okay, Miltos. He just lived down the street from me. He's a good
really?
friend.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And we're having Ian White on.
Oh yeah, I know Ian. Ian ended up playing the Jin Warrior in Clash of the Titans. That's who they cast.
Oh, we'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
He was brilliant. He's a brilliant actor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing with having a lot of actors on. You could name one and we'd be like, oh, we talked to them, and then it just gets the stories going. It's always great.
Have you watched all the Game of Thrones?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. I like Game of Thrones. It's a really good show. It makes it easier for me to do a convention if I've watched the show because people ask a lot of opinions and questions about it. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked it a lot. But like everybody, I thought the last season had its ups and its downs. I felt more up than down personally. I enjoyed it. I kind of wished it had another season. You know, I wished it kind of panned out over.
Yeah.
It had maybe one more season.
It felt.
I kind of was disappointed with Cersei's end.
Yeah.
Really, I wanted her to have a very miserable end.
They kind of ruined the whole character arc of Jamie, I think, with him going back to King's Landing. That didn't really make sense. It kind of just, do you know what I mean? Like, it would have been better if he had stayed.
I do. I kind of felt like I liked how they finished Daenerys' character.
Yes.
Same
with the Hound.
I'm not a big fan of having brought Jon Snow back from the dead at all.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of bringing people back from the dead full stop.
You must have hated Avengers Endgame, Jesus.
Yeah, I have not seen it. My issue is with bringing people back from the dead is that it undermines the high stakes of death in a story.
Yes.
So if death is the ultimate end game for a character or an animal or anything, when someone dies and you grieve, then the stakes are very high for life, right? But if you can come back from the dead, it kind of makes you go, okay, so like, then so what? Like, you don't die, right? And I also didn't really feel like they did much with him after he came back. It wasn't like he came back and accomplished something really incredible other than killing Daenerys.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I get that. They could have done a lot more with his character. I've seen like an alternate ending to it where they lose at Winterfell and then they have to resort back to King's Landing. Where then, do you know that tree where was it Richard break at the tree with all the tree people? I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
And then Daenerys needs to destroy the tree, and then that gets rid of all the magic, which then also has to kill Jon and the Night King at the same time.
Oh right, okay. That's kind of cool.
That's exactly what I mean. So she has to sacrifice Jon, and Jon has this big battle with the Night King, and I don't know. I think it felt a bit rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the problem it has is that there's just so many directions it needs to go into.
Yes.
There was so much to cover in the last season at that point that it can't not be rushed in some ways, I suppose. But there were only 8 episodes, wasn't there? If I'm correct. 6.
Six.
Yeah, it kind of needs about 12 or 14 or I don't know.
It's the same with Breaking Bad. Every season had 11 episodes in it. And then the last had nearly 20.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was amazing. Oh my God.
It was.
We had a combo on yesterday from Breaking Bad.
Who?
We've had Skinny Pete on as well.
Ah, cool. Nice. You guys got some good guests.
We got you, so even better.
Yeah, we were tough to pin down.
We've been in the talks of this.
Can we talk about how long it took to sort this?
It was crazy. Well, I actually wasn't doing anything for a long while, and then suddenly everything kind of got busy. I was filming something a few weeks ago for ITV, a little docudrama.
Oh, lovely.
Just like a day or 2, 3, I think, filming, and then now I'm doing makeup tests and stuff for a horror movie that I'm working on that should start filming in around December or January.
Is there anything you can say about
film. That scared you.
What was that mockumentary about vampires? What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh, I've not seen it.
It's what's his name again? He made Thor Ragnarok. Taika
Waititi.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
Amazing.
I don't know it. What's it called? What's it called?
What We Do in the Shadows.
Don't think I've seen it.
He's a great director.
I'm also, speaking of mockumentary, I'm also kind of looks like I'll be doing a mockumentary of something as well, which I can't really talk about. But speaking of mockumentaries, I've always wanted to do a mockumentary. So
yeah. That's the first thing I tried to film when I got my camera set up before. Yeah, gave up on it. Well, COVID. It's not I gave up on it. COVID happened. So
Oh,
Yeah.
COVID.
yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
As an actor, that probably affected you a lot.
Hugely. I mean, mostly for my convention life. Like I was, I
Yeah.
flew back from Chicago in March after having been in Bologna 2 weeks before that. And I think I had COVID. Yeah, then like I was
Okay.
supposed to fly back out to New York to do another convention, and then suddenly overnight everything just disappeared. I usually do a convention or two every month. Everything's gone. It's just all gone. And everything became Zoom world. I was Zooming conventions for a while.
Here we are.
Here we are. I just live in cameo land, and I do cameos, and now things are kind of picking up with filming.
A lot of
Yeah.
people we've talked to are on Cameo. Has that done a lot for you? Has it been a good experience so far?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has. It's been really good. I mean, it's been lucrative for me in the lean times, but also it connects you with people in a different sort of way. Especially during COVID, I think people really benefited from a pep talk, I suppose,
Definitely.
including myself, really. Like doing a pep talk is almost like a pep talk itself.
Mm.
When
We
you're
talked to. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go on. I didn't
connecting
mean
with,
to.
people and saying like, I can't see my mom. And, so they wanted me to send a message to their mom and dad because they hadn't seen them for so long. And there was something really lovely about that, and still is, So for me, Cameo has always been really great.
Yeah, we talked to James C. Burns.
Mm-hmm.
He's a voice actor and actor, and yeah, he got to do one very recently, and it just made him sit there and think for ages after he got to do a motivational speech, because people need it now more than ever.
Yeah. I do.
So some people are just sitting at home doing podcasts, and then other people are on the front line, and there's people dying all around them, and
Yep.
it's two extremes.
Don't I know it? Yeah, I know. I've lost a couple of people that I know in my life as well to this.
Sorry to hear.
So it's been really terrible. I feel for you young people too. I don't know where I would be at if I was in my early 20s and this was happening. Thankfully, we have kind of this, but like when I was in my early 20s, if this had happened, I'd be going out of my mind because there was no
Yeah.
computers or, it would just been, I don't know. It
Plenty of
feels
reading.
very unusual. Yeah. It just feels really an unusual time.
It does feel weird, doesn't it?
Oh, there's nothing normal about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, unless you're around for the Spanish flu,
Yeah.
which I doubt anyone alive was.
Well,
No.
people in their hundreds, they would have been only like maybe 4 or 5. Isn't there someone who's like 120 years old?
Isn't it so weird we have people who over 100?
Yeah.
Like, back in the
Yeah.
day with Jesus and the lads,
No.
you never hear of someone 100 years old.
Back in the day.
Yeah, no, you got to
Back in the
40
day of
and you were the
Jesus.
village elder.
My mom
Oh.
is 90 years old.
Oh wow. It's awesome.
She's in really
awesome.
good shape too. She's really chatty, and like if I called her right now, she might not even be home. She'd probably be out getting a coffee.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah. But that's so cool. Like, we can live so much longer now.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has its benefits, but also has its
It's
negatives.
probably still going to keep increasing, Next, maybe
Yeah.
200, 300 years, people might be living till they're 300. Like,
Yeah, I was reading some crazy thing about. Have you ever read the book *Sapiens*?
no,
I've heard of it. I've heard
It's
of
a
it a
good
lot.
But in the future, basically, people will, if they're not run over by a car, they'll be able to live forever.
Oh,
Yeah, why
Getting
not?
head transplants and arm transplants and heart transplants. If you have money, that'll be the thing. If you have money, you'll be able to live forever.
How old do you think Bezos will live to be?
oh Jesus.
Honest question.
The supernova.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Bezos?
At the very least, 100.
400 years old.
Most likely. What about the Queen? The Queen's like what? Like, she's
She's
not 100.
94.
She's 94? Man.
Yeah.
She'll get to 100.
I'm watching The Crown, so don't tell me when she dies. I don't want any spoilers.
Jesus.
Well, her mom lived to be
La
what?
la 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 la. What age was her mom? I'm not there.
Spoiler alert: Princess Diana dies.
What the fuck?
His call is over.
Just Thomas has left the chat.
Ross,
Yeah.
I want to say you were a great guest, but that would just be a lie. No, no, I'm in the middle of watching The Crown. It's great. I'd love to get Olivia.
You love The
Olivia
Crown?
Colman on.
Yeah,
I
you love
love
it? Seriously, do you love The Crown?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I actually really do love it. I think it's quite good.
A lot of drama, like, and it's supposed to be mostly like factual. It's a lot of drama, like.
Yeah, it's pretty soapy for factual.
Yeah.
I'm watching The Fall at the moment.
Oh, I got a recommendation for that.
Do you know that? It's with Gillian Anderson. It's based in Northern Ireland. And it's around a serial killer. I'm in season 2, and it's really grim.
What's it called again?
The Fall.
The Fall.
The Fall. Let me
The
check
Fall.
this out.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard going. It's like, it gets grim in season 2. I'm like, oh, God. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. I've
It's on.
heard about
I
it.
don't want to spoil it for you, but it's good. It's
Have
good.
you seen it, Will? No?
I haven't
That's cool.
seen it.
You haven't seen it? No? Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I've seen it after.
I heard about. So I got a thing on my phone today. I was like, you enjoyed the show. You should watch The Fall. And I was like, oh, I might do that. And then just kind of went back to doing whatever I was doing. Like,
Gillian Anderson's amazing.
yeah,
Pretty much everything she does.
Gillian Anderson. I recognize the name. I don't recognize.
X-Files.
X-Files. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's her big
Well,
start out, but she's done
was in
lots of
Hannibal,
other
wasn't
stuff
she?
too. Yeah.
I think she wasn't. Yeah, I think she was in Hannibal, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I think she was. Yes, she
Mm.
was. She played Clarice, I think, in one of the movies.
Just because I'm a really big fan of Rory McCann. Like, I love everything that guy does. Have you ever met him? He doesn't
No,
tend to go to many
I
conventions,
haven't.
does he?
Sorry.
I've asked all the Game of Thrones actors, man. It's
I haven't. Sorry about that.
all
I've
good.
met some really cool people. I've worked with Liam Neeson on.
Oh, tell the
Hospital.
story. Tell the story. We're all ears.
And I got to work with Sigourney Weaver too. Well, I didn't get to
Oh.
work with her. I had lunch with her, which was pretty cool. I worked on a movie called A Monster Calls with them. I was really just helping Liam with motion capture because he played the tree. He didn't need any help really at all. But yeah, I was on that for a couple of weeks. He was a really awesome guy, really amazing. Had a lot in common with him because my father is from a very similar area of Northern Ireland as him. So we had some stuff in common. I have family up there still. But he's really chilled, really relaxed guy, really, really fun. And Sigourney Weaver as well, really awesome. And she told me all kinds of stories about working on Alien and Ghostbusters.
Cool.
So I was geeking out. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
We asked a couple actors it. You don't have to answer. What are some roles that you went for but didn't get?
I'll happily answer those. I auditioned for Groot forever for Guardians of the Galaxy. I had about 4 or 5 auditions
That's so
for that.
cool.
Oh shit.
What else? Abe the Fish Man from Hellboy. I had several auditions for that.
That would have been so cool.
Abe was difficult because Doug Jones is really, 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 really skinny, and they needed somebody really skinny. I was really skinny at the time, but not that skinny. With Groot, it was really down to the fact that they needed a really big name to say, I am Groot, basically.
Yeah.
So, although, I mean, I auditioned for that a lot. I was in and out of the studios quite a bit. Yeah.
So
those are
did
the
you
2
ask
big
Liam
ones.
Neeson about his role as a tree? For your role as a tree? No.
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
was
really cool.
Yeah. Trying to think of others. I mean, there's so many roles that I was up for that I didn't get. I mean, as any actor will tell you, you you get less roles than you get roles, if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you more
That's-
often get rejected than you actually get. That even goes for people who are super famous. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Of
Yeah,
course.
that you just said like the two biggest roles we've ever heard someone come close to on the
Oh
show.
right, okay.
Second,
I have to say,
in
when I
second
did
place,
get Abe
it's
the Fish Man, I was like ready to jump off the top of a building. I really wanted that. Because
Yeah, that'd be really
I'd
cool.
met, by that point, I'd really, I'd met Guillermo del Toro.
Oh
And
wow.
I love his work hugely. He's also an awesome guy. He's really creative. So I was quite gutted when I didn't get it. Like, really, like, ah. But that's good. I mean, I'm still here, right? Then I was the White Walker. Woohoo! I hung around for that. I held out for it,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
That was yeah.
Yeah, I was saying there, like the second highest we got was Steve Bastoni, who's in The Matrix, the sequel, and
Okay.
he nearly got the role of Negan, but obviously in the end he didn't get it. Poor guy, and he's gutted about it. You know, he really wanted that role.
Yeah,
we had him on the podcast. He started, challenging the guy who plays him to like fist fights and
Yeah,
stuff.
he said like
It got really out of control.
that's not even exaggeration. That he did say. Yeah.
I think it's builds your character as an actor. I think it's really good to lose out to a big role at some point in your life, like early on in your career. Because it can really ruin you if you have this speed dial kind of life for the first 5 or 6 years when you're really young and you get loads of stuff and you're like on a roll, and then you suddenly get a dead patch in your career. It can really throw you for a wobbly. But I don't know. I believe that, and I also believe it's really good to be fired too.
Oh yeah.
From stuff.
Have you ever been fired?
Yes
It's
and
okay,
no. I've been let go of. I was cast in a movie called John Carter of Mars, and I
I've heard of that.
was let go the day before shooting because Andrew Stanton didn't look at my height. I was cast without my height being looked at properly, and I was working next to Mark Strong, and I'm about an inch taller than
Wow.
him. And so they let me go because of my height, just only because of my height. Literally at 6 o'clock the night before I was supposed to start filming. They paid me and everything, and that wasn't the problem. But, I was gutted, I was really gutted. But I think it's character building, you go away from it. It builds it makes you think, like, what do I want? Like, this is what I want, right? Like, so this is the career I've chosen. Sometimes it kicks you really hard in the groin, and sometimes it doesn't. And it really doesn't really have a lot to do with you. You can't take it personally. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
Yeah.
So a lot of these things that after they've happened, what I've gone away and done after licking my wounds is I realized, like, my career isn't what's so important in my life, although it's very important. It shouldn't be the thing that makes or breaks me. My life is what's important, and my career should be something that facilitates my amazing life. And when I got my head around that, then getting rejected seemed a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because my life is always amazing. My career, it has its ups and it has its downs. One day you're in Game of Thrones, the next day you're in Sharknado 5, global swarming.
Oh, I can't believe we haven't asked about that yet. I see
Both-
that in your
both are
IMDb, and I was like,
amazing,
oh my god.
Well,
Both are
you guys can
amazing.
ask about that after I start the 12-hour-long process interview about Bear behaving badly. Now, why was he behaving badly? Was it something to do with the Bear's father? Tell me. No, I'm messing. Okay. Ask away, Sharknado. Go on.
Wasn't there
Yeah,
like 8
tell us all
Sharknado
about it.
movies or something?
What was that?
There's like 8 movies, wasn't there? I think. In
I
total?
think there's 6.
Yeah. 'Cause
I'm
I
in
think
number 5.
I'd
Congrats.
seen the first
The best
and
one,
then I
in
saw
my
it was
opinion.
like
The best
6
one, of
films.
course.
I'll be honest. I haven't seen any of them. I think they're. I'll be straight up.
I'll be really honest with you. I've only really seen mine once, and
Like I saw the first one and I watched it and I was just sitting there like I just couldn't understand how anyone thought that a movie like that was actually a good idea. Like
they
it just
didn't. They just wanted to
yeah,
make
like,
it so that people would watch it because it's so bad.
They were just gonna like, all right, let's. How do we piss off Hollywood today? How about we like
Uh,
sharks in space?
Yeah, I mean, but to do my scene with Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek, which was pretty cool,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms. Hey, come on.
We had someone on from Star Trek, didn't we, Thomas?
Uh,
We had someone from Star Trek
Yes.
Beyond. It was Keanu Lam, who's a stunt.
oh, we had
No.
Spencer
Okay.
Garrett. We had
And
Spencer Garrett.
Spencer Garrett.
Cool.
He
Yeah.
would have been in, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Air
Nice.
Force One with Harrison Ford and
Cool.
Gary Oldman. Yeah, he was a pretty cool dude. He was an awesome dude.
Harrison Ford.
He smoked
Yeah.
blunts. He smoked.
He smoked a
blunts.
joint with Harrison Ford.
Oh my God, that I can believe.
He came up to
Yeah.
Harrison Ford like, "Hello, Mr. Ford. It's a pleasure to meet you. I just want to say I love your work. It was nice working with you on the film. All right, kid. You want to smoke a joint?" And that's how it went. I think
That's
he left the party
pretty
shortly
cool.
after. Barbecued. Yeah.
Awesome.
Stories some actors have. I want to hear about the stories you have.
What
You've had a
stories do you
pretty
want to
cool-
hear, man?
Cool career, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Drinking to 4 o'clock in the morning with most of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer cast in Dortmund when we were snowed in at a Comic-Con.
Awesome.
That sounds cool. That
That
sounds
is-
really cool.
Yeah,
Snowed
it
in
was
on a
fun. It
Comic-Con.
was odd, Yeah, I mean, a life is varied, and a life well lived is going to be varied as well.
Mm.
What do you guys do when you're not doing podcasts?
Plan podcasts.
I'm not allowed to do anything except podcast.
Are you studying? Are you
No study, no school
Um,
allowed. Podcast, no. We're waiting
no.
for our leaving cert results. Our
We
our
get it on
GCSEs
Monday.
kind of, our SATs.
what?
We're waiting for our high school kind of results at the moment.
Okay. And then you're gonna study some more, or are you guys gonna?
Oh, we're going to go to
Random
college,
You
yeah.
guys know what you want to be when you get older?
When I get older, I really want to be
Film.
Santa Claus. No.
You want to be
Uh,
Santa Claus? Hey, listen, I have done that. Every year I play Santa Claus at my friend's school.
That's
Well-
so cool.
Well,
I do. I
I
like
just
doing
want
it.
to say that you're living my dream, sir.
I
Willem,
won't be doing
what
it
are you
this
doing?
year, I
Willem?
don't think. I don't think COVID and Santa Claus go hand in hand.
yeah. What was that, Thomas?
What do you do, Willem? You're like doing a PLC, right?
Yeah, at the moment I'm doing a traineeship for Intel there, so I'm learning to be a maintenance technician. So it's
Cool.
last few months it's been a bit rough doing it from home now, obviously, because there's like a lot of practical applications involving like tools and equipment and stuff. But
Cool.
it's not too bad. Like it's
Do any of you want to go into film?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I have a lovely collection of gear in this room.
Cool. Yeah, I can see a little bit. You put it up to the camera there.
Got my vintage lenses
Nice, nice. I'm producing a little short
of the
film.
big
at the moment.
boys.
Cool.
Producing
Yeah,
a short
yeah.
film. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm
That's
doing a
pretty cool.
short film. I did a play a couple of years ago here in London called Pocketful of Bread, which is a Romanian piece written in the 80s during the Ceausescu reign. And the playwright wrote this really cool sort of, it's a metaphor for political disenfranchisement, basically. It's really, really good. It's, anti-fascist, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a very funny and very odd piece, and I'm producing it, making it into a short film.
That sounds
I'm excited
awesome,
about
bro.
That
I'm
sounds
actually
cool.
working with Barney Harwood on it from Bear Behaving Badly.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, you were saying, what year was what year was that based in? Like the short film idea?
Well, the original script is a play, and it was written in 1984
Okay.
in Romania.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, the playwright is still alive. He lives in France. He exiled himself to France.
Oh.
He wrote a lot of pieces that were very anti-government at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you gonna be playing a bear?
No.
Oh,
will you be behaving
I'm going to
badly?
be playing a man. We're sort of like nameless men, these two guys, standing around a well, and there's a dog at the bottom of the well. Stay tuned.
damn society. No.
No, no.
No.
Automatically, you piqued my interest there. That's really,
Yeah,
really
you
cool.
have piqued my interest as well.
Why is the
Shit.
dog in the well?
Why
Why
do
are
these
there two
guys
men?
have no names?
Why do they have no
I don't
names?
want to spoil it for you, like I did with
Okay.
Princess Diana dying and all that.
Oh,
What?
bro!
Oh man, I just forgot about it. Oh god.
Shit, bro.
Okay, I gotta head out soon, guys.
How much longer do you have? 5, 10
I have
minutes?
like literally about 3 more minutes.
Okay, well, what? Well, you asked the last question. You've been pretty quiet.
Ask me a nice big question.
Jeez, I don't know. I think he's covered
What have I
everything.
not told you about that you want to know?
I guess social security number, bank detail. No, no.
What would be like the top 3 things on your bucket list then?
What are the top 3 things that
On your bucket list?
on my bucket list?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. On my bucket list, I want to go to Venice. I know it's not a very difficult one. It's not too far and it's easy to do. I want to do a vampire film, which is going to be a possibility coming up. I've always wanted to do a vampire film, play a very cool vampire. So these are 2 things that are on my bucket list that are doable. Third thing on my bucket list. I don't know. Like maybe meet Cher.
Fair enough.
Perfect.
That's a
Um,
good one, isn't it?
Actually, before you leave, real quick, I want to ask what your dream role is.
What's my dream role? It's funny. Actors get asked that a lot. My dream role, I'll give you 2 parts. So I'll give you the easy answer and also the complicated answer.
Okay.
The complicated answer is basically my dream role is sort of like the White Walker in Game of Thrones. Nobody knew it before it happened, and I make it iconic. So it's yours ultimately, right? Like all actors, when they are that role in that movie, like Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, that's, he didn't think of it before, but when afterwards, he was probably like, wow, I'm really glad I did that iconic role. So I want an iconic role like that. Not that I haven't had a couple of them, Doctor Who characters and, White Walker. And I played a Polish gangster in a movie, which I really loved.
That's cool.
And I've always wanted to play a vampire, which I've got the role of in an upcoming horror movie soon. But I guess like a role I've always wanted to play, now that I can ride a horse, I would love to play like an aging like cowboy rock star who rides a horse in an urban setting, like a city. Like a real,
That's very, very
real
unique.
weirdo, odd guy who still rides his horse around the city.
Kind of like at the start of The Walking Dead. He's riding a horse into the town.
Yeah, I guess so. I've never seen The Walking Dead, but I think I know who you're talking about. Kind of like, I don't know, like
That's
an
cool.
aging rock star
very
cowboy.
unique. It's very
Nice,
unique.
Cyrus.
You got
Go
the
ahead
look.
and write the role for me, and I'll be in it.
Awesome. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. It took a long time to get this
I
interview to happen.
know. It took ages.
It was worth it. Thank you so
It
much for
was
getting
worth
on.
it. I hope
Yeah.
it was worth it.
It was.
I hope you have a great time with Miltos and with Ian. They're awesome too. Good luck with everything, guys.
Thanks,
so
mate.
much.
Thank you.
We will send you the episode when it's out. Actually, it should be out today. Am I right, Thomas?
Yes.
Okay, Thomas is gone quiet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'll-
The episode
gone
will be
quiet.
out today. My bad.
Yeah, be out today. We'll send you the link, and thanks so much for getting on. It was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Same goes. Looking forward to your next bit of work.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Take her
Bye.
handy.
Bye.